We're here today with George Farmer, aka the Aquascaper, and what I'm about to do is interview him with your questions. So stay tuned and find out what his answers are. It's all about shrimps, simply shrimps. Right, hello George, thank you for taking your time out to come and take part in this interview and show me how to aquascape and things like that.
Pleasure.
So yeah, we've got a few questions here, about 2 pages worth. But first off, I'm going to ask you a personal question from myself. So what sort of age were you when you got into fish tanks and aquascaping?
I didn't buy my first tanks, I was 25.
Yep.
I was kind of always interested in them. I had one at school, my primary school had one. Always liked them, but we never kept them as a family really.
Yeah.
My uncle had one when I was about 4. That's kind of my first memory.
Yep.
But yeah, quite late starting really, yeah, 25, sorry. 25.
So about my age now.
Yeah. Right,
so we'll move on to some of the questions that you guys have asked him on my Instagram account and a couple from Facebook as well. So the Shrimpire asks, I've always heard Britain can be rather dreary. Do you find that aquascapes can reduce season depression or even just cheer you up on a rainy day?
It's a really great question. Yes.
Simple answer, yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think the therapeutic value of aquascaping.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not just viewing it, but the whole process of looking after it, maintaining it, watching it evolve and grow. I think it's really beneficial.
Who needs a TV, eh?
Yeah.
Shrimplicity, they got a bit greedy on the questions, so I'm just going to read them all out anyway. There's about 4 questions from them. What do you prefer substrate-wise when aquascaping and why?
For growing the plants, I like soil.
Yep.
So a soil-based product, commercially produced. Loads on the market that are all pretty similar. And then for kind of decorative, I'll use a complete variety of sort of cosmetic gravel, sands, that sort of thing.
To do like we did on the integrated design and things. So another great question from them is your top 5 plants to aquascape with and why? Yeah,
okay. Anyone that knows my channel will know how much I love crypts and ferns.
Yep.
So any variety of them. So let's say that's 2 plants. I really love Monte Carlo. I think that's a really nice, fairly easy carpeting plant, and you can use it different ways. And an aquascape's quite a versatile plant. You can like poke it in holes and watch it like cascade down. So that's number 3. Number 4, I really like Bucophilandra.
Yep.
Really easy but beautiful. Loads of varieties available. And last one, it's got to be one of the mosses, so I would say I really like Ricardia, Hamadrypholia.
I think I can see where this answer is going to go with this question. So, what little creatures do you like to use for a cleanup crew in your tanks?
Amano shrimp and cherry shrimp, yeah. Straightforward.
Any snails?
I don't tend to use snails personally, but the nearite snails in particular I've seen a lot being used effectively recently, so we've got some here at Aqua Depot right now. I know Yuri's, my German friend, uses them quite a lot, so yeah, that would be something to consider.
I think the only bane of them is the amount of eggs that they lay.
Yeah, I mean, some species don't seem to lay many, so yeah, I think it's a bit hit and miss with the egg thing.
Yeah. And then the final question from Shrimplicity, are you a Caridina or Neo-Caridina fan, shrimp-wise?
I love both, I've kept both successfully, I've bred both successfully, so I prefer the ease of Neo-Caridina for me because I use tap water, which is hard.
Then Shrimp Life Picks, what's your favourite moss to work with and why?
We just mentioned Ricardia, it's not actually a moss. I would say I really like, I've actually just got hold of some mini Christmas moss, which is very beautiful, really fine texture.
I love the way that Christmas moss kind of fills out and it doesn't go too scraggy or lanky.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's good choice in moss. So Alpha Aquatics UK has asked, do you keep any shrimp and which is your favourite?
Yeah, I just kind of answered that, no, Neo-Caridina. Yeah.
Neo-Caridina is your favourite. Any particular strain?
No, do you know what, I'm not bothered about the colours. I actually quite like it when they revert to almost sort of wild. I quite like that naturalistic look. Yeah.
Zero L Fred, Old Fred, do you have a dream aquarium?
That's an interesting one. You know, if money was no object and time was no object, so I had all the time in the world to maintain it, or had people to maintain it for me, I guess it would be huge. It would be, you know, something like, you know, 12 foot by 4 foot by 4 foot, or something like that. Yeah. You know, and just like a classic nature aquarium with the like ferns, mosses, something similar to a Marno's home tank.
Yeah,
I'd love something like that. Yeah.
So Ed Ower and Diva Aquascaping kind of asked the same question. Who's your favourite aquascaper and your inspiration, be it when you were sort of first starting out and now kind of thing?
Yeah, it's definitely Takeshi Amano.
Yeah. Takeshi Amano. Well, the obviously the Amano shrimp were named after him, weren't they?
Yeah, were.
Yeah.
Yeah. He popularised them. Yeah. They used to be called Caradina japonica, and then they reclassified to multidentata.
Tops Jack, who used to be a regular at the shop I work at until we moved away, asks you the best filter media / floss for crystal clear water.
I really like Purigen if you really want to polish the water.
Yeah.
That's really good. Secam Purigen and carbon, a decent carbon will do a good job as well.
Now this one's a bit of a long question. It's got quite a few components in it. So Corner Tank Corner says, hello Andrew, says, how would you aquascape a Boos, is it Boos or
Buki? I say Buki.
Buki.
Buki Philandra, yeah.
So how would you aquascape a Buki only tank, and what other plants would you use, considering Buki is a slow growing plant, and what would you use for hardscape, rocks, wood, substrate? So a Buki only tank.
I would use definitely wood, mainly wood, and I've just stick to small species to give you, it depends on the size of the tank, but yeah, the smaller the tank, the smaller the species you want to stick to maintain a sense of scale.
Yeah.
Just think about the colours and how they kind of impact with each other, over the impact on the overall aesthetic. So think about, you know, if there's any particular kind of high impact colours, you might want to position them sort of rule of thirds, because they're going to be like the focal point. You could even use techniques like using the larger texture Buki Philandra at the front of the tank, and then the finer textures at the back, and it forces this even bigger sort of sense of depth, like a bigger sense of perspective.
Yeah.
And other plants, did they say Buki only, or did they say what other plants?
They said Buki only, but considering Buki is a slow growing plant, what other plants might you use in conjunction with
I just use other slow stuff. Crypts is a classic, because they're actually Southeast Asian as well, so you'd get that kind of wide-toed vibe potentially. Although Buki Philandra is, you know, only comes from Borneo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it really. Yeah, nice wood, spindly wood. You know, the smaller the tank, the more kind of detailed the wood needs to be again for the sense of scale. But yeah, hopefully that gives them a flavour of where I'd go with it.
Yeah, it's a good answer. So I'm just going to throw in another question now, because no one's actually asked it. But what is your favourite fish? Big, small, favourite species of all time?
I really like neon tetras and green neon tetras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A nice classic there.
Yeah, it's a classic, yeah.
So Justin on Facebook says, the importance of trimming your plants in a planted aquarium, how important is it?
Potentially very important. A couple of sort of reasons why. One is the aesthetic, so if you're an aquascaper, you want to be like maintaining the overall aesthetic of the scape, making sure it's looking, you know, its best, and you do that. You know, one of the aspects to doing that is trimming your plants. The health of the plant as well. You know, if plants become kind of too dense, they can grow over each other, smother each other. So from a maintenance point of view, they need trimming. And yeah, that's it. I mean, a lot of plants, when you trim it, promotes new growth, which is good. But if you want a super low maintenance plant, you don't want to be trimming, so you know, you obviously choose appropriate species.
So the aquatic hub, I think it's a good question to kind of sum up this whole interview. Last question, when you make an aquascape, do you select the hardscape and plants based on compatibility / biotope, or do you just run with it and say, oh, I'll have a bit of this, a bit of that, kind of?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. So if I'm scoping for myself at home, I'll have an idea already in my head what I want to create, and then I'll find the hardscape to suit that idea. Whereas if I'm scoping for in a retailer or a private client, and I'm limited to the materials that they've got there and then the layout will, you know, evolve from that, evolve from the availability of that hardscape. And then the same with the plant choice. So if I'm doing it at home and I have access to pretty much all the plants available, then I can, you know, create that vision quite easily because I've got access to those materials. Whereas, again, if I'm doing it at a retailer or at another client's house, and they've only got a certain amount of plants, then that limits your direction, obviously.
Yeah. Awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of. So some great answers and great questions from you guys at home. So yeah, that sums up this Q&A video with George Farmer. So thank you very much for your time to answering all of these questions.
Cheers, mate. Pleasure.
I'll be linking George's channel at the end in that little circle box thingy-majiggy at the end. So be sure to check out his channel. We've been doing some scaping together as well today, so he'll be putting some videos up on that. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you in another video.
Keep on scaping.
It's all about shrimps, simply shrimps. Let's keep things shrimple, simply shrimps. Do 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 do. Yeah!